Back out on the boat finally. A steady trundle out of the harbour. 3.4 metres of water, just gone past low tide. There is some colour in the water. A lot of bait fish, which is good. See what today brings. Today's an anything day. Anything goes. Baits, jigs, soft plastics. And head out of here and turn right. No, we're not. We're going to turn left. Hope to see them. Yeah, we're just on this bit of mixed ground now. I got it wrong. When the tide's on the wane, you head north. I got the drift wrong. Such is life. We're just coming up now onto this piece of rough ground here. I don't know how well you can see that. And the drift is taking us this way. So we've just set up now. I'm going to kill the engine, set the outboard, and hopefully drift across this bit of rough ground. We haven't quite got to it yet, we're just coming up to it. Hello everybody, finally back out on the boat. Bit better weather, it's not too cold, it's quite warm actually. It's about a foot of swell, heading northeast, it's not too sloppy. Just about to drift over a bit of rough ground. I've got Abu Garcia Max, and we're going to couple that up with a small rhubarb and custard. There is a little bit of colour on the screen, not too much. I think it's a lot of bait fish, so I'll probably put a 4-inch rhubarb and custard down. I am just caught in the side swell. I don't know whether to put the sock out and try and bring us round backwards into it and let the bow go into the swell. We'll see how it goes. There are some fish down there. I think they look just like bait fish though. We'll let that drop down to the bottom and then we'll wind it back up through the water column. There's something coming through now. Just let it drop back down. Don't want to get caught on the bottom. These lures are too expensive to lose. You're going to lose them, they're going to get mashed up. You don't mind them getting mashed up when you're catching, but yeah, a lot of small bait fish. Could be herring. We'll see. Yeah, you might be able to see the angle of the line there. I mean, even sort of like 37 grams, I think it is, in less than a 1 knot tide. It's struggling to get down in the water column. The tide's just keeping it up. It must be running a lot faster underneath than what it is on top. Very little showing on the sounder. I'll have another couple of chucks and see if there's anything. If not, we'll move further up. Well, I said it was a try anything day, and we have tried everything in the kitchen sink. A couple of guys just around me now, one's heading further out, one's headed further in. We've had slow jigs, speed jigs, soft plastics. We've gone on to shadding, bright orange and pearl shad on about 3 foot, 60 pound leader onto a little slide. I picked this method up off a skipper out of Whitby. Before I just used to clip this to the weight, and it's finally got a lot of tangles, and I find that if you just put a little slider on this sort of 18-inch 2 foot of floor, or 60 pound floor, and you weight on the bottom, you don't get nowhere near as many tangles. I did get a take, one bite. It got smashed on the way down, so much so it folded it in half and got it hooked its own tail. We're just on a bit of rough ground, not really going anywhere at the moment. I'm going to change this because I'm going to try and match the hatch, because like I say, I did get smashed, and it did take it and it flipped it the other way around. I mean, the local knowledge seems to be heading further out now, and quite a ways out as well. So I'm going to have a flick around on the plotter on the relief shading to see what's out there. Yeah, trying to match the hatch to the catch. Somebody I've met up here's made me these. Apparently these are the secret weapon up here. Anything bright orange, and it's a bit smaller. I try and tie my snood length about sort of 3 foot. Anything longer than sort of 5 or 6 foot, I find that you get tangles as it goes down. And my boat's not a huge boat. Half of my boat's dedicated to, well, a third's dedicated to wheelhouse, the other third's dedicated to two-person berth, and there's the aft cockpit here. So 10, 11 foot rods are not really suitable on my boat, I've found. So if you stick to sort of like an 8 foot, what you've got to remember is when you're down on the bottom, when you pull up to make your shad swim up, if you've got an 8 foot rod but a 5, 6 foot trace, it's just hanging in the air. It's not really getting lifted up and then coming back down. Lifted up, coming back down. That's my personal experience anyway. So like I say, on an 8 foot rod, I like to keep it about sort of 3 foot. Let's chuck it back down and see see if we can find anything. Somebody's steaming up to me. Now we're just on the edge of the rough ground. Yeah, when you cast off, just try and flick your weight out in front of your shad, and then it does avoid tangles. Just let it go down slowly. Your thumb on the spool to stop overruns. End up with a bird's nest. That's just got hit on the way down, and again. And on the bottom, 3 turns up, and start lifting away. We've got some bait for tomorrow, some frozen lug, bit of mackerel, and a few other bits and pieces. We're back out tomorrow with it being the bank holiday weekend, and we're going to give it our all. You can see on the plotter where it's gone down, and I can actually see two separate lines. I can see the braid and I can see my snood length, so I know I've not got a tangle. I'm going to see if I can get this on the plotter to show you what I'm on about. You can see the two visible lines. The thick line is my weight going up and down, and the one following it behind it in sort of like the staggered motion is the shad. And because I've got two lines there, I know I've not got a tangle. Now I've just left it in the drift and you can still see two separate lines. The shad is above the weight, so I know I've not got a tangle. This is near the transducer, so you can see the two lines. Just to demonstrate and actually sort of put a picture to a words of what I was on about. Do you know, there's the whole of the freaking North Sea, and they have to cut right alongside you and leave you in 3 foot of wash. It's going to be a good half a mile between me and the coast and the shallow water. I'll bring you back if we get anything. Yeah, you would not believe the wash that boat put off. Unreal. Back over this rocky patch. We're actually fishing into a bit of a gully in the rocky patch. There are fish down there, I can see them. Just going down to the bottom, letting the lead hit the bottom, a couple of turns up. There's a big shoal of something coming through now, about 12 metres. I think they're just bait fish though. I've got some feathers set up, ready to rock and roll. I might give those a go. Yeah, I don't know whether you can see. It's got a new addition to the boat. A 5 horsepower Mercury auxiliary. I mean, it's not a big boat, it's 16 foot long, it is quite heavy though. I've seen bigger boats than this with 5 horsepower on, and they're not going to get you home. They'll get you out of the way, but they're not going to get you home if you're a long way off. So a 3 or a 4 got recommended, but I'm out here on my Jack Jones, so I've got a 5, which will get me out of the way if the big Susie packs in. Touch wood, it never does. It will get me out of the way and it will get me home, albeit slowly. On a day like today, it'll get me home quite comfortably. 6-7 knots. I wouldn't like to try it in a heavy seas. I've got the Penn Squall 30 LD, £30 braid. That's a £40 shock leader, the greased weasel one. I like that one. Yeah, when you're shadding, as you lift you'll feel the thump and the as the shad comes up. That's its tail swimming up in the water. If you're not fishing a particularly heavy lead, and as you let it go back down, shad's going back down, as you pull up, it'll whip the shad around and you'll feel a bit of a thump, a little knock and a If you're feeling that, that means you've not got a tangle. This is all just my personal experience. It's been an absolutely cracking day. It's almost glass flat. I'm just going into a bit deeper water, go back down again. Two or three turns up, get you off the bottom so you're not getting snagged up. We're just in the edge of the gully. It's been very little drift today. It's not a massive tide. The tide is coming back up. But it was high water at 2:15. We're now 3:45. And we're a third of a knot to 0 knots. Oh, oh. I've got a taker. Fish on. We're not in a massive amount of water, but I'll take it steady. I don't want to blow the fish. There we go. A lovely fat little codling, perfectly hooked, bottom jaw, absolute cracker, lovely healthy fish, no lice on him. Yeah, beautiful. Let's get him back. Straight back, straight down. That's what we want to see. Just being a bit careful with handling the fish. I've got a couple of cuts on my hands and I don't want to get them infected. So, the secret weapon that chap in the marina works, because crack all else has worked today. And we've not blanked. We've not blanked. Let's see if there's big brothers down there. Yeah, one of the things when you're shadding, you may already know this, you may not. You send the weight down, you feel it touch the bottom, give it a couple of turns up. But every minute or so, let it go back down to the bottom, because as you're drifting, even though you're only drifting slowly, the depths will be altering, and you might not be on or near the bottom, if that's where you're wanting to be. So every now and again, just retest your depth, just replumb your depth. Luckily today, because we haven't got much tide, very little wind. It's almost glassy out here. We're not needing a big weight, just like a pocket watch weight. It's more than enough to get you down to the bottom and keep your light straight down, which is the kind of fishing I like. I like the light kind of fishing. I don't want to be having a 2 pound weight on the end of my line. Like you did when you were a kid fishing out of Bryn or Scarborough. And skipper would give you a reel that were like a broomstick with eyes on it. And you'd have a Scarborough reel. Now for those of you out there that don't know what a Scarborough reel is, I suggest you go and look one up. Because if you could fish with that gear and catch and be out for 8 hours, you were doing well. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah, just got smashed by something. Couldn't hook it up. The shad came back up like that. Something swiped at it, and spun round, spun it, and tried to snag me up, but just wasn't quick enough to catch it on camera. But that was the upshot of it. Wow. We'll move a bit further over. That's it for me. That's it for me for today. Just been joined by a dozen seagulls. Yeah, that's it for me for today. The wise money's saying it's time to pack up. The local knowledge, they're all heading in now, so I'm going to do the same. I've got about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour steam back to Hartlepool, and then I've got to clean the boat down because it is an absolute mess. I don't know it's got this bad. Yeah, one codling for today. It's still early. I'm hoping there are going to be a few mackerel around. There isn't as of yet. There's been some codling caught up in Sunderland, so they are in the area. It's just dialing into them. I have got some plans for the future this year. Now it looks like the weather's on the change. I have got some 3 fuel tank days coming up, going out onto some bigger wrecks that only sort of the commercial boys, fishermen fish. Not even charters go out that far because it costs them too much in diesel. Yeah, I've spotted a few quite far out. I am going to put safety precautions in place for going that far out, and I'll talk about those more when it gets closer to the time. But thanks for joining me. Hopefully back out in the near future. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.